My brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's first reading from the prophet Ezekiel, we hear on top of yesterday's readings, which shared the fact of the generosity of God, the good things that God desires for us. Today's first reading shares with us the desire that God has for us to be saved, not just to have good things, but He desires all to be saved. He doesn't want anyone to be lost. And so in the gospel, we hear Jesus pushing, if you will, the righteousness of His disciples, saying, unless your righteousness far surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, don't just give lip service to God, but truly humble yourselves before the Lord and be righteous. Follow His commandments. And in turn, God's grace will be sufficient for you. That is His message to us. We hear, and it can be very confusing, especially when we look at the Old Testament, and even sometimes in isolation, the words of Jesus can seem to be back and forth. Is God loving or is God judgmental? Is God gentle or is He angry, looking to crush sinners in judgment? And the answer is that God is absolutely loving and merciful. God is also completely just. But the problem is, all too often, we are the source of our own condemnation. And this is ultimately the judgment at the end, which is in our sinfulness. If we refuse to empty and humble ourselves before God, then our own inordinate self-love will rule the day. If I love myself more than I love God and I love my neighbor, then ultimately I will be condemned, not because God wishes to punish, to thrash me in some kind of judgment, but because that attitude is exclusionary of the communion of the God of love. And so, if despite all the grace I'm offered, I choose myself instead, then I am committing the very act of Satan, the one who would not bend the knee and said, I will not serve. That is at the heart of our pride and of our sin. God's mercy is beyond our comprehension. His grace is sufficient for all of us. There is no one who God fails to give the grace needed for salvation. He desires us all to be saved. But we must take that step. We must respond to the invitation of His love. And that response is not just saying yes to a free gift and going about our way in our own business, but that is a change of heart. To change away from the ways of the evil one and to be changed into the ways of God. It is a beautiful gift offered to us from a God who desires all of His children to be one with Him. Let us not squander that gift. May God bless you all.